On Capitol Hill, Democrats are gearing up for testimony months in the making. Tomorrow, the House Oversight Committee will question former Attorney General Pam Bondi about her handling of the Justice Department's Epstein file release. It will be the first time she comes face to face with the committee since Democrats walked out of a closed-door briefing in March when Bondi allegedly refused to comply with their subpoena. Well, now they'll get their chance. But conditions aren't ideal for Democrats who are slamming Chairman James Comer's decision to allow Bondi to testify without being under oath or on camera. Let's bring in MS Now Justice and Intelligence reporter Ken Dilanian and MS Now legal analyst, former federal prosecutor Paul Butler. Ken, how crucial is this moment for the committee's larger probe, and what are you expecting from Bondi's testimony?
Well, certainly Democrats believe it's crucial. They have a lot of questions for Pam Bondi about the way she handled the release of the files, whether they were trying to protect President Trump, why she said that the files were on her desk. Remember early on, the Epstein client list, which actually doesn't exist, she said it was on her desk. So a lot of questions about the way she handled it. How much she will say is an open question because, as you said, she's not under oath. It's still a crime to lie to Congress, whether you're under oath or not. But she's under no obligation really to answer every question. And since she's not the Attorney General anymore, she may feel less of a pull to do that. And this is, frankly, a very partisan exercise with each side trying to score political points. It won't be on camera, obviously, but Democrats no doubt will release the transcript shortly thereafter. And so, look, it's another brick in the wall of this Epstein probe. How much they'll get out of it remains to be seen, Anna.
Ken, the attorney who's representing Bondi is also raising some eyebrows. What can you tell us?
Yeah, she is Harmeet Dillon, who happens to be the head of the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice. And honestly, I've never seen anything like this before. A currently serving senior official at the DOJ representing someone in a private capacity. And obviously, a lot of people have a lot of questions about that, Anna.
Earlier this month, Ranking Member Robert Garcia was very critical of Chairman James Comer's decision to allow this plan with Harmeet Dillon. Here's what he said to MS Now's Lawrence O'Donnell.
Right now, we know that a DOJ attorney, Ms. Dillon, who actually runs a bunch of civil rights operations at the DOJ and has now been elevated at the DOJ, that she is also going to be the private counsel for the former Attorney General, yet she works for the DOJ. And so it's an incredibly strange setup that Mr. Comer is allowing. So we're calling it out, and hopefully this will get resolved before the actual hearing at the end of the month.
Paul, do you agree with Garcia's assessment that this is incredibly strange? Is this a conflict of interest?
So it's not unheard of for former employees of the Department of Justice to ask to be represented by the department in hearings like this. Often the reason is because of finances. It's always a good idea to have a lawyer in a hearing like this, but a lawyer could cost tens of thousands of dollars. So Bondi would have had to specifically request DOJ's representation. Anna, what's really weird is that it's the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights who's representing Bondi. Typically, it would be a lower level DOJ lawyer with expertise in criminal law.
And Democrats are also frustrated about the fact that Bondi's answers won't be on camera. They won't be under oath. Comer rejected the Clintons' offer to sit for transcribed interviews, arguing that they couldn't be trusted to answer lawmakers' questions, specifically saying that former President Clinton could refuse to answer whatever questions he wanted for whatever reasons he wanted. And Comer's spokesperson says Bondi's different since she's been cooperative. But, Paul, what do you make of that reasoning and the lack of consistency in handling these interviews?
Well, Bondi hasn't been cooperative. When she was Attorney General, she refused to testify before this committee, and she only agreed the day that Congressman Garcia said that he was going to make a motion to hold her in contempt. She's definitely getting different, and you could say favorable treatment, not just than Hillary and Bill Clinton, but Anna, even former Attorney General William Barr had to testify under oath with regard to these matters.
So without being under oath, of course, she can't lie to Congress. That would be against the law. Could Bondi just refuse to answer questions, though, once she's in the chair? How would you advise Democrats to approach this to get the answers they're seeking?
I expect, especially since she's been being represented by the Department of Justice, for her to be advised by Harmeet Dillon not to answer a bunch of questions. She'll claim some kind of civil immunity. She'll say she has lawyer-client or executive privilege. So I don't know how revealing this hearing actually is going to be, which is unfortunate because this could be the last time that we hear from the former Attorney General on the Epstein matter. And she was in charge of this. We know that she says that she had over 500 DOJ employees working on the files. So there are legitimate questions about all of the mistakes that were made, including the fact that over 100 survivors' personal information was revealed when they were released, including in 40 cases, nude images of women, some of whom may have been underage.